We would love to hear his inputs about the way he feels, how the things are changing in the world of hospitality now. Over to Mr. Nishant Negi, please.
Thank you, Mr. Negi. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to, congratulate the Servo Hospitality Group for putting up this webinar together. And these are the tough times. And these are the new ways and norms where, people are getting connected now and sharing their knowledge on the platform. And thank you very much for inviting me to be one of those speakers in your esteemed college. This effort of putting up this webinar itself is the testimony of the college team for looking ahead in future and preparing the new generation for new opportunities and challenges. And I'm sure this will, in a longer run, this will definitely give results and will be adding on some value to these young chaps who will be joining the hospitality industry. So I'm going to talk about the new pandemic which has hit the world, all over the world, and how hospitality industry is evolving and how we are looking forward for the future in the new era. So, first questions which comes to, anybody's mind is that how are we going to win the trust back of the customers, and how are we going to deal with this new normal? So I personally think that, the most important value in today's time is that the health is the new wealth. And the single most important thing that this pandemic has done has told people how vulnerable, we are. Everything else that has happened is an offshoot of it. Offshoot in a sense, till the time medicines are there in the market, till the time vaccines are being developed, so on and so forth. So till the time, I think we will have to live with this, coronavirus. People have realized the importance of safety, which assumes greater importance because what we call that fear of infection, therefore this is an enhanced focus on distancing and disinfecting. As I'm sure you would be reading a lot of articles, how, different companies are coming up in this new normal and defining new processes, new procedures to create that kind of trust, to win that trust of the customer actually. Cleanliness has become a new amenity. Generally hotels who used to talk about locations, who used to talk about service culture, so on and so forth. So that location will be replaced by cleanliness. So cleanliness will be at the center peak at any given point of time. We in ITC Hotels, I would like to quote our Executive Director, Mr. Nakul Anand here, that we are in the service industry and every interaction with the customer is a moment of truth. Now, every interaction is going to be a moment of trust. And we will have to physically demonstrate that a customer can trust you by setting up, standards. So if I talk about ITC Hotels, reinforcing its globally acknowledged, responsible luxury ethos that seeks to create a better and secure world, ITC Hotels has launched a path-breaking initiative, We Assure. It's a first for the hospitality industry. The discerning guests of ITC Hotels will be reassured by accreditation by National Accreditation Board of Hospitals and Healthcare Providers. They are the leading standards organization for sanitization, hygiene, safety, and infection control practices. ITC Hotels is also partnering with DNV GL Business Assurance, one of the world's leading certificate bodies, to ensure stringent clinical levels of hygiene and safety. As we go forward, I will share what are the best practices we have done. I have a small presentation. I will show it to you. So these assurance certifications will stand, testimony to the rigorous hygiene protocol which has been put in place to ensure the safety of guests and associates at ITC Hotels across India. So We Assure is a holistic program that addresses all facets of hotel operations, all touch points from, from the airport, uh, getting the guest in the car from the airport, arrival at the porch, check-in, check-out procedure, housekeeping cleaning procedures, food and beverage service styles in the restaurants, so on and so forth, they all will change. So from revised protocols for the back of the house activity at the receiving floor, back offices, laundry, to the public areas, with heightened sanitization measures for guests, luggage, elevators to room service. Everything is covered under this program. Well, it's a detailed program, but I will share some key highlights. For example, all vehicles which are used for pickup and drop of the guests will undergo stringent daily deep cleaning protocols. Chauffeurs will undergo regular temperature checks and wear prescribed PPE, the personal protective equipments, at all times. All guests will undergo a mandatory contactless temperature check upon arrival. Guests will be offered sanitizers and face masks as a part of hygiene protocol. All guest luggage will be thoroughly sanitized and labeled as Sanitagged. All associates will be wearing personal protective equipments at all times, means masks, gloves, face shields, eye covers, head covers. Guests will be having an option of making contactless payments from the room via digital payment link during checkouts. There will be a huge focus on clinically clean rooms. Room cleaning and servicing is carried out only in the absence of the guests by trained housekeeping staff wearing the PPE kit. Physical collaterals have been replaced with digital communications accessible through QR codes. So, the service directory which was kept in the room has been converted in a QR code, so the guest can scan the QR code and the service directory is available on the phone. The in-room dining menu is on QR code now. Restaurant menus are on QR code, so on and so forth. So only mandatory communications will be placed in the room in forms of codes and, maybe in a standee where people can read it and they don't touch it. Dining experience is gonna, change completely. Restaurant layouts, seating arrangements have been remodeled to maintain, safe distancing, a minimum distance of 6 feet among two tables. A table which has cover of 4 has been reduced to 2. There is a glass shield in between, so on and so forth. So all the tables have been decluttered. Common shareable items have been replaced with individual packed condiments. All crockery, cutlery, glassware is sanitized and packed in a food grade covered by online payments is a new option for making payments. The program-specific contact online payments will reassure guests of visibly stringent cleanliness and disinfection processes that benchmark clinically hygienic standards, offering guests unparalleled comfort with peace of mind. Now, that would be our focus in ITC hotels altogether. So I have a small presentation where, we personally replaced. Allow me to put that, off the screen.
Yeah, please carry on. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Just give me a moment. I'm just putting up a presentation.
Yeah. Please do it. Okay.
Hi, is my screen visible to everybody?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Great. So, I've just put this presentation together just to keep the new normal in and understand how things are going to unfold in the future. So, generally this pandemic has undeniably changed the travel landscape with I've put, general landscape with vacations and business trips being put on. We are still trying to get in touch with the corporate heads and trying to figure out how business will evolve going travel. And so when there will be a restriction in the travel means the load will also fall on the hotels as the occupancy will go down, so on and so forth. So it's all connected. So according to the American Hotel and Lodge report of 6th May, 7 out of 10 hotel rooms were unoccupied, And when the guests will return to the accommodations, things are unlikely to look that way they did prior to COVID-19. So there's a huge paradigm shift amongst the travelers, amongst the guests, and of course, the hospitality industry also, who's struggling. So number one, we believe that there will be no more minibars in the room. Unfortunately, that late night snacks and early morning coffee will be a thing of the past. Hotels have completely stopped and have removed coffee makers and glasses in order to reduce the touch point. So these were the, minibar was one touch point, irrespective whether the guest have it or not, he will definitely open it, and touch it. And to reduce that touch points, the minibar will go away. That's what the hotels are working upon. In few of the ITC hotels, we have already have done away with the minibars. We have put a tent card there with a QR code which says, you have a minibar on call, whatever you need, just let us know and we'll place it in the room as per your request. The other thing is there will be no more room service. No more room service means no more room service menus you will find in the rooms anymore. Now these room service menus is another thing which is, an area which is of high touch point. Every guest comes across, touches the menu, opens it, and hence increasing the, that fear of infection again, and people will definitely think about, touching a menu twice, keeping in mind that, the earlier guests would have touched it and so on and so forth. So let's face it, paper is virtually impossible to effectively clean, and meaning these room service menus are rarely getting the sanitization treatment they should. So, most of the hotels, ITC hotels has already done it. We have a QR code with our room service menu. The guest can scan, the menu opens in the phone itself, and then he can order accordingly. Third thing which we believe that there will be no more key cards. Key cards is another high touch. Taking a page, you may be working towards by so many resorts, so you can download areas an app on your phone. And once you check in, there will be an intimation on the phone. You accept that intimation, and your phone becomes the key to your room. And that phone will be used entering and exiting anytime whenever you want to enter your room. So that's the new development. Hi, is my screen, sorry, I think we lost the connection. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Very much visible. All right, if I may request, everybody to put their mics on mute, else there will be an echo and we won't be able to, I won't be able to communicate. So, I was telling about the desks. You won't be finding in the new hotels which are coming up with new designs. There won't be a desk in the hotel room is what we are thinking, because desks are amongst one of the most contaminated surfaces in the hotel rooms, and that's one of the reasons why we say that there won't be any more desks. No more remote controls. If you are thinking about picking up that remote without wiping it down first, you're going to want to reconsider that. I believe remotes could have been phased out of hotels and replaced by cell phones, apps that could take their place. So there are already TVs which have come across with their own apps, and from your phone only you can control your television. So this is one thing which I personally believe that won't be any more used in coming time in future. Uh, Sixth is no more touch control fixtures. So if we talk about touch control fixtures, the new hotels which were coming up with new technology of touch, I would say that they will have to stall and they will have to rethink these touch control panels, because these are also high contaminated areas and multiple people use them. So automation will be the name of the game in that not too distant future, meaning you may never have to manually flush a toilet also, or even turn on a light in a hotel room again. So that can be by voice control, that can be by an app through your phone, and there are so many different ways where you can operate a hotel fixture altogether. Bathtubs will go away. Bathtubs, lounging in a hot tub with friends uh, may have once seemed like a relaxing escape, but this will definitely go away. These places can increase the chance of guests getting contaminated, since they are enclosed in a closed quarter and in warm and humid conditions for prolonged period of time. The contamination is more dangerous in these areas, and that's the reason why I'm saying that the bathtubs and hot tubs will go away. The eighth thing is that no more micro hotel rooms. if you remember, in last 2 years, there has been a surge of smaller rooms. Hotels have moved towards a new brand where the room is compact. The pricing is pretty good, and it works for a business traveler. So I think these micro hotel rooms will go away because it increases the danger of contamination in a huge way, because this is small rooms and the touch points are pretty much common. And in order to keep the hotel rooms clean and sanitary going forward, the average room's footprint is about to get a whole lot bigger. That's the whole idea. Health and wellness goal will accelerate the demise of rooms that are too small. So, generally the guest, the business traveler who used to think that a smaller room used to work earlier, he, with that fear of infection, will definitely avoid these rooms and look for a larger room where space is much and you have a lesser chance of being contaminated. So I've put up a small initiatives, good practices which ITC Hotels has taken in the view of COVID-19. Some screens at reception, you can clearly see that, screens at reception for social distancing, associates wearing masks, sanitizers at the time of check-in be kept at arrival. There are pads which are kept for guests to sign and keep the reg card separately. So this is how we are coping up with this new thing. Pedestrians and pathways, on the service road to be maintained with social distancing. So there have been proper pedestrian pathways designs which have been made for associates to understand and keep a normal norm of social distancing. Demarcations in the back areas for walking and keeping the social distancing in mind will be a new thing which is coming up. Additional hands washing stations, hand sanitizers, created at strategic locations such as service gates, receiving areas, time office from, and so that we can every time we can put that thing that hand sanitization has to be in place. You wash your hands every 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and every time whenever a associate mandatorily sanitize their hands, get their body temperature checked through a thermal screening gun, and then enter the hotel. So, different hotels have created, fabricated their own, foot measures, sanitizers kept in different locations in the guest areas. Social distancing in the cafeteria is a new norm now. You can see on the screen that the cafeterias are divided with the screens in between, so that people, keeping in mind the social distancing, also have the lunch, can have a conversation as well, a candid conversation, and can also have a meal in the cafeteria. Number of covers have been reduced, and different hotels have taken a different stand, dividing groups so that at a time certain number of people only, and then they move out, then the other set comes in, which reduces that fear of infection. There has been processes of increasing the covers also in different areas. These will be promoted further. Demarcation in the elevators have taken place. Only 4 people or 3 people as per the size of the elevators have been promoted, and front areas where the guests also uses the elevators. Associates will be encouraged to use staircases and elevators only for material movements will be used. You can see that toothpicks are used chance of contamination in terms of surface areas being used by single person at a time. Goods receiving areas will have their own sanitization only when we use the door, we use our hands to open the door, and so the door handle, the door knob becomes one of the highest touch points where the virus can sit and can get transferred easily. So the foot door openers are being put in place where people will not be using their hands. Marking for social distancings in the back areas, in the cafeteria, service gates, uniform rooms, keeping that social distancing in mind will be the new norm. The sinks where have been blocked, keeping again the social distancing in mind. So these were the new initiatives which had been taken place. I will quickly run you through the housekeeping and our services which were carried out during the pandemic, so that you have a fair idea how hotels are coping up with this new norm. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. So during the pandemic, hotels were attached as a quarantine facility, and also for some time of period they were also attached with hospitals. So where we were used as extended hospitals. So ITC had got two properties. We had Sheraton New Delhi and Welcome Hotel Dwarka in hotels, and then they were attached with the hospital. So I will just run you through what are the new initiatives, best practices were carried out by housekeeping and food and beverage service in these areas. So, these were certain essentials which have to be carried before leaving the floor, every time. So any staff who's going on the floor will have to be wearing this PPE, that personal protective equipment, goggles, face shields, medical caps, surgical mask, N95 masks, disposable gloves, were few of them. This is how the staff in PPEs were prepared. Surgical masks, isolation gowns, sterile gloves, and shoe covers. Disinfections, chemicals, and machines which were used, during our operations. Bed ensemble and bathroom setup got redefined and changed. Bed ensemble, mattress protector was placed on top of the mattress, one single bed sheet, one duvet cover, two pillows, pillow protectors, and pillow covers. Bathroom setups was reduced to two bath towels, one bath mat, one soap, shampoo, conditioner as per the request, and one bucket and mug. And bathroom cleaning caddy presented inside the room only, because we had promoted that The guests, those who are staying for quarantine, they clean their rooms, their bathrooms themselves, and also change their bed sheets themselves. Wardrobe setup was reduced. Safe lock with all room glasses and message holders and service directories were removed. Four hangers, ironing board, no laundry bags, no shoe tray amenities, no slippers, no shoe horns. Everything was removed. Tea ensemble minibar got replaced, as I shared earlier. Basic tea setup, milk tubs, white sugar, tea kettle, coffee mugs, 2 disposable cups on request, and that's it. Minibar was emptied. Items were not available on requests during this period. And also to note that no magazines, service directories, scribbling pad, pencils were provided in the room. Room attendant room setup, full set PPE with hazmat suit, aprons, face shields, all PPE is being replenished on a daily basis. So PPE is just one-time use is what we had worked towards. And it was only for once the usage, and then they were put in the biohazard waste bags and were treated separately. Rooms were completely stacked with water, tea, coffee supplies, towels to perform any guest requests received from the patient's room, thus avoiding unnecessary movement of staff. Room attendant placed extra bottles of water, pre-packed tea, coffee supplies on the guest tables each morning. This process helps reduce guest requests through the day. So the whole focus was to reduce the interaction with the guest during the quarantine period or during the when they were staying as an extended hospital, so that less and less people come in contact with those guests. Contactless service. No room cleaning was done in the room while the guest was in the house. Housekeeping boys providing services to the patient floors have been isolated in a separate wing so that they are away from the entire staff. The one table, tables were placed outside the rooms to make the service style easier, because we used to keep the food trays, everything outside the room. We used to ring the bell and the guests used to come and pick it up themselves. So all guest request items were placed on the table, kept outside in the rooms, including that pre-packed food delivery. And additional packets of tea, coffee pouches were placed in the corridor every day, and tables set outside in the corridor to assist with the contact-free service. The idea was to bring that contact-free service design in all our sphere of touch points. Contactless service lobby and elevator cleaning. All lobby lounge, guest elevators were cleaned early morning and sanitized every day by the hotel staff who are confined in the red zone operations. And regular movement of hotel staff is restricted in the front of the house, as the area is frequently accessed by patients and doctors of Max Hospital. So the lobby became a restricted area for general staff to move in and out. Okay. Keeping in mind that this area was used for maximum movement of doctors, Max Hospitals, and patients. Garbage clearance procedure was collected twice a day at 10 a.m. and 3 in biohazard bags, refilled and placed outside the rooms. Being collected and handled by Max Hospital staff was not part of housekeeping deliverable. A separate elevator was used for removal of the soil garbage, and the same elevator was disinfected after every use. Disinfection of corridors was another process which was added, post the garbage clearance. Housekeeping attendant disinfects the floor, corridor twice a day, full corridors and all tables are sanitized using the misting machines. Housekeeping boys were wearing full PPE when carrying out the disinfection procedure. Departure room making procedure got changed. The departure rooms were prepared by the boys, those who were isolated on the floors only. Room attendants used to wear the complete PPE kit. Room attendant enters the room, post 4 hours of the guest checkout of physical departure of patients so that droplets can settle down. They used to carry out the misting process of departure room with 16 ml of oxivir prior to start. 24 hours room left untouched for chemical to react, and in 24 hours preparation and inspection of rooms used to happen, and then after 24 hours rooms were being released. The linen handling procedure also a new normal. Fresh linens were provided only on request to the guests. Soiled linen was collected in a biohazard bag, garbage bag. This linen is directly transported to the laundry and is washed in a designated washing machine that has been identified for washing only COVID positive linen. So transportation is done through a separate elevator affected after the transportation. Staff is trained to handle the linen wearing complete hazmat and washes the linen at 70 degrees for 25 minutes. Complete area and machine with trolley is disinfected after washing of soil load. And no personal laundry of COVID patients or the people, those who are doing quarantine, institutional quarantine in the hotels, on the request to clean their clothes themselves. Now, the most important part in this new era becomes the donning and the doffing. So donning is where donning is a room where you wear the PPE kit, So more than donning, doffing procedure. Doffing means when you take off your PPE kit and get disinfected again, becomes the new norm and one of the process and procedure which was followed thoroughly. Hand hygiene was driven amongst all the associates and the staff, by promoting cleanliness in terms of getting your hands disinfected every 20 minutes, half an hour, washing your hands for a minute or so, and using a disinfectant every time whenever you come in touch with any surface or anybody. And in fact, that's what something you must also try and develop and get that culture in of washing hands or using a sanitizer every half an hour, because at times, and how many people we get in touch with who are in contact, and we have a fear that we might also get contaminated by this is the best way in the new norms in today's time. So this was housekeeping I was talking about, and allowance during our during our new processes and procedures. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great, thank you. So I'll just quickly run you through the sequence of events which has happened. Shared in New Delhi. On 11th March, the WHO declared the novel COVID-19 as a pandemic. 6th May, Sheridan New Delhi got nominated as a Vande Bharat quarantine paid quarantine facility. And on 29th May, the Sheridan New Delhi got nominated as an extension to the Max Super Speciality Hospital in Saket. So 150 rooms across 3 floors, were converted as an hospital facility. First lot of patients admitted to identified rooms at the unit was on 8th June, and food takeaway service, which we had started at that time, was discontinued. So an action plan was put in place. Sanitization norms were put in place to ensure conducted. BWA principle, which is before, while, and after of washing and sanitizing hands, ingrained at all levels. Sanitization of kitchens, work area surface, high touch surface points, door handles, handrails, tabletops were carried out every 4 hours with a sodium hypochlorite 1% solution. PPE management, prompt procurement, and stringent control of PPE was enabled. Briefings and trainings on donning and doffing were carried out, and the compliance was closely supervised. Team segregation was done basis contactless delivery service for pickup, runner, floor butler, and clearance. Food delivery protocol was put in place while ensuring no associates to associate or associate to guest come in contact. And a guest garbage handling protocol was also put in place on a similar line the way we were handling the garbage which was coming out from the room. So you can see on the screen, we have pickup and runner who's wearing a PPE kit, hazmat suit, face shield, masks. Delivery was done on the table. So we have face shield outside, and this garbage collection was done in the norm, and the most important and the critical procedure where we had to take utmost care while doffing the PPE kit. Cyclic menus were created for breakfasts, lunch, and dinner, which was shared with the guests. Keeping in mind their likes and dislikes, and requests were taken from different guests at times. People, those who are allergic to in mind. So rotational set menus were designed basis guidelines received from Max Hospital, and as well as the guest preferences. On the right hand side, you can see the food tray where breakfast, lunch, and kept outside the door. So the service design which was followed was that food production, basis hospital guidelines and guest feedback, rotational set menus were followed. Pickup of packed food in disposable plastic trays, sealed at kitchen from an identified counter by the team. There were separate runners, and announced floor dispatch to shift food and delivers to a coffee table outside the guest rooms and rings the bell before moving on to the next room. Clearance is collected by the hospital's biomedical agency after all guests deposit their garbage in the bags provided their rooms, and the agency then disposes guest requests of repeat meals or a specific repeat items were honored and delivered as per the request, and feedbacks was taken delivery and so that every time we improve on our delivery. Few essential gears for flow butlers were hand sanitizers, hypochlorite solution, PP kit, which covers bodysuit, visor, goggles, hair covers, etc. And for guests, the in-house guest list, extra disposable crockery, cutlery, glasses, tissues, disposable bags, etc. Hygiene management had taken the front seat altogether during this pickup station floor. So, there were designated areas for designated staff members so that staff don't move in and out in different areas which are infected, and they don't, catch that infection, was the whole idea. Entry exit for all associates through service areas was allowed only through the sanitization mat, and PPEs were thoroughly disinfected. Body temperature checks for associates in-house were carried out twice. Sanitization of kitchens, work area surfaces, high-touch surface points, door handles, handrails, tabletops were carried out every 4 hours with a sodium hypochlorite solution. Procurement and use of disposable CCG, which is crockery, cutlery, and glassware for all guests, use diminishing possibility of cross-contamination. So, disposable had taken the front seat. Service of all raw food prohibited in the hotel. So no raw food was served in the hotel, like salads and stuff. Eminent levels of self-discipline and hygiene carried out by all the teams, and uncompromising supervision towards ensuring safe distancing at all times. So these were the new initiatives and new operational service design, I would say, in the new normal. And this is getting, as we learn new things, it is getting redefined day in, day out. So, and this is going to stay for some time. This will be the new normal. And we have vaccines across the world. I have a medicine new normal which will be followed in most of the hotels. So for some time, once we have a new normal which will be followed in most of the hotels. How much? This is what I had to share. Any questions?